Good afternoon, good morning. How's it going? I just want to say for the record, my bad about being late by 18 minutes. I was in the kitchen cooking and had to make some eggs and bacon. I will show my plate in just a couple of seconds just to show y'all. Hopefully it comes up clear. Bow. We were cooking. So I'm about to be real rude and eat on camera like I should not do. But the video today is Iceman, I don't think he's still here, but you seen the trunks? By the picture alone, you could tell that there's no way. There's no way it was a low blow. There's no way possible. Just look at the thumbnail for this video, and you will see that anything below the nipples is a low blow. Yo. And because Daniel Dubois hit below the nipples, according to the thumbnail, it was a low blow. Anyways, in all seriousness, before I start eating into these eggs and bacon, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link. I normally don't go live this early, which is why I'm running a little late behind schedule. But I'm going to do this in case anybody wants to jump on. In my honest opinion, and I was over on another channel called Ultra Tech. I will link his channel in the description below after this live goes down and comes back up. But I was over on Ultra Tech and I was explaining to him why I thought it was not a low blow, why I thought it was a legal punch. And regardless what people think, they can say I'm a Usyk fanboy because I'm saying it's a low blow. I would disagree with that full-heartedly because people who have been around me have heard me say a million times that I hope Triple D would win. I did not think he would win, and I even predicted he would get stopped and quit in the 9th round, which he did quit in the 9th round. But I was hoping deep down that he would win because we know for sure we would have got undisputed with Tyson Fury had Triple D won. We know it would have been automatic. However, he did hit Usyk below the belt. As I was alluding to and went on a tangent, now I get back to I digress. Yes, the punch was below the belt. Now, in boxing, as I was explaining over on Ultra Tech's channel, again, it will be in the description below after this goes down and comes back up. If you hit somebody below the belly button, the navel, is considered a low blow. And I was explaining all of this before anybody came out, before Usyk's team did the post-fight interview, before Tony Bellew came out with his tweet, etc. I was explaining all this because I boxed before. I knew this. People say below the belt, but it's not actually below the belt. It's just a common saying that most people say. And normally before a fight begins, the referee looks at you, he explains the rules, and he does his hand on your waist. Like anything below here is illegal, anything above here is legal. Sometimes guys have their pants high, and when their pants are high, the referee will come underneath the belt line and be like, this is legal, from here up, from here down is illegal. But from my understanding, that didn't happen at the start of this fight. So, again, it was definitely a legal punch. It was not an illegal punch by no means. And I don't understand why people are making it just such controversy because you could see from all the still shots, the pictures, you could watch it live, that the punch landed below the belt. Even if you went on the belt line, that's what you wanted to go with. You could see half of Daniel Dubois' glove underneath the belt line. So you could argue that half of it was on the bottom half of the belt and the other half of his glove was below the bottom half of the belt. So no matter how you look at it, his fist landed below the belt. Half of his glove's below the belt, half's above. The belt line itself is below the navel. In the picture where people are trying to say that it's not below the navel, I call bullshit because you can't tell where Usyk's belly button is because his elbow was blocking. So unless people can see with X-ray eye vision like Superman through pictures, there's no way to tell. There's no way to tell where his belly button was. There's no way to tell if the pants rolled up while he was leaning, hunching over. There's no way to tell because it's concealed by the elbow of Usyk. But again, in my opinion, and I did the breakdown of the fight right after the fight, I thought it was a legal blow. It's iffy. It's a gray area. I would agree with people who say this. Had it been Usyk who landed that shot on Dubois, they probably would have counted it as a knockdown. I agree with that statement. But at the end of the day, that doesn't reverse the fact that the punch was technically low. It's a gray area. It was close. It could be seen either way, and that's where referee's discretion comes into play. Now, we're watching it from bird's eye view, camera angles. We're trying to see where the punch actually landed. The referee, we have to assume that he was doing the right thing and not the wrong thing, which he could have been because he gave Usyk an absurd amount of time. Not really, because he's allotted 5 minutes. But what was absurd about it was Usyk said at least 3 times, I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. And the referee was like, no, take another minute. No, take another minute. Referees don't normally do that. They don't normally tell the fighter to take more time. They normally say, okay, you're good, good. All right, let's go. Action starts back up. However, that wasn't the case in this fight, but I will say this. The referee has the best vantage point as he was standing right there in between the two men watching. So, as I explained it over on Ultratech's channel, the punch that Daniel Dubois threw was like a corkscrew straight, which means that he was twisting his hand to where it went underhand, which rotates the knuckles from up to down. When you do that, your punch will arc up, which means you're coming from the bottom up, which even makes it even worse because when it's a questionable shot, if it was thrown from the top down like a normal straight, maybe you could argue then that it should have went more on the side of being legal. However, when you're throwing from the bottom coming up, the argument now shifts to the other side because it's where did it truly contact? Did he get hit in the balls? No, I don't believe he did. I think he got hit somewhere in between the belly button and his crotch, so to say. And that's where he got popped. But I will tell you this. If you've ever been hit in your lower abdomen, it hurts worse than anywhere else. Like it hurts bad. If you get hit hard enough, it could feel like you got hit in the nuts because it burns. And I find it funny that in one of the post-fight interviews that he did, I think it was Split Second, he said that it burned after he got hit. Now, the thing about it is this. Had the punch been ruled legal, I do not believe Usyk would have been able to get up. And I say that because if you watch the fight back, he tried to get up. He tried to get up even though the referee wasn't counting and he couldn't. He literally tried and physically could not get back to his feet and looked at his corner immediately like, oh, fuck, this hurts. He couldn't get up. So regardless of him saying if it had been ruled legal, he would have found a way to get up. I don't believe he could have because he tried to get up with no count and he couldn't. He had to take another like 60 seconds to recover. He was down. There was no getting up. But again, was it legal? And the answer is no, in my honest opinion. Now, if there's anybody out there listening, excuse me, why chew bacon on the mic? So rude. I know. But here's the deal. If anybody out there who hears this on the replay disagrees with me, write in the comments section. If you disagree with me while you hear me talking live, hop on the live and change my mind. It's going to be very hard to do it, but it's possible. This bacon tastes pretty good. I haven't made bacon in so long, but it tastes really good. Oh, this is horrible. I'm sorry, guys. I'm starving. I should have ate first, then did the live like at 11:30, which the time is about to be right now. But I figured I would hop on because I was already running super behind. But yeah, like, I highly doubt Frank Warren's going to get it overturned because you got to understand, I've never really seen a ruling get overruled. I've seen many of fighters petition it, try to fight it, and it always goes to the ruling of what was done. Like Triple G didn't get it against Canelo in the first fight, and it was blatant that Triple G beat the shit out of Canelo in the first fight. I mean, the whole world saw it besides a handful of Canelo fans. They couldn't overturn that. Lomachenko most recently, who's with the same people as Usyk, which is Igis and the other guys, Oleksandr Krasiev. Those two guys who are with Lomachenko, they couldn't get the Devin Haney fight overruled when the majority of the people, I would say probably 80% of the people believe that Loma beat Devin. They couldn't get that overturned. So getting fights overturned in boxing is damn near impossible. It's damn near impossible. You would need an act of Congress to do it, which isn't going to happen. So, especially for fighters that aren't from America, they're both not from America. So I don't even know. It's just not going to happen. But anyways, the thing about Daniel Dubois is this. The dude, in my opinion, and I said this before the fight, I think he made a huge tactical error. You saw him hurt Usyk on more than one occasion, okay? Had he been 11 pounds heavier, where he where he hurt and stunned Usyk, he may have stopped him or dropped him. And that's the thing about it. Like, I don't understand what it is with these British coaches where they don't get it. They don't understand it. They believe heavyweights should be small. They believe taking weight off the heavyweights is a good thing. And when you look at the heavyweights that they've done that to, their premier guys, they've all lost. In fact, the best guy, Tyson Fury, put on weight to fight Deontay Wilder because he knew he was too small at 6'9", only weighing 250 pounds. So he got heavier. Whereas you look at AJ, for Usyk, he lost weight twice. Then you look at Joe Joyce, who fought Zilly Zane. He comes in at his smallest against the biggest fighter he's ever fought and gets beat for the first time. Then you have Daniel Dubois, who makes the same mistake as those two, takes weight off, and I mean, yeah, he had power, but he didn't really look like he hit as hard as he normally does because Usyk barely had any marks. Outside of the low blow, what damage did he really do to Usyk? Yes, he stunned him a couple of times. Yes, it appeared that a couple of the body shots hurt Usyk a little bit, but he never stopped him dead in his tracks. The thing about Daniel Dubois is his punches normally leave bruises on fighters that he fights, especially when they're more faired skin. And he's in there with a 36-year-old that he doesn't even mark up, which tells me, because let me say this before I say that. The older you get, the easier it is for you to bruise. Your skin doesn't heal as fast. The inflammation builds up. And it's just you bruise. You bruise a lot easier the older you get. And the normal pop that we see on Daniel Dubois' punches was non-existent in this fight. I just didn't see it. Yeah, he had the one low blow good punch. But outside of that, where was the bruising on Usyk's face or body? It wasn't there, which tells me, again, he lost power. He lost power for what? To gain speed, agility? I didn't see that. He looked just as slow as he always did. To gain endurance? I didn't really see him gain endurance. So you lost 11 pounds to come damn near at your career lowest. You're only 2 pounds heavier than your career lowest. And what did you gain from it? Nothing. Excuse me. I know this is very rude, but I'm starving, guys. But to be honest, I think this right here, this controversy is non-controversial because anybody who really knows boxing knows that it wasn't a low blow. When you have, I hate to throw out these numbers because they're hypothetical numbers that I don't really know, but from what I've seen over 95% of professional boxers all say that it was an illegal punch. And it's like here's the thing. You got to understand something. When you have professional after professional after professional telling you something is illegal, that holds a lot more water, holds a lot more weight than somebody on YouTube who's never fought before, than somebody that's a journalist that's never fought before, never been in the ring, doesn't know the sport. They just write about it. They don't know it. They've never done it. They've never had to deal with being hit low. They don't know what it feels like. So, again, when you see the majority of the professionals coming out saying that it was an illegal punch, then I would say that that's really the metric that you should be going off of versus people on YouTube. Now, granted, I know that sounds funny because I'm on YouTube, but I like to think I'm a little bit different because I've actually fought in the boxing ring before versus other people. Not saying that that makes my opinion greater than theirs, but I'm saying when it comes to a technical thing like a low blow, knowing where the line is, how I explained it before anybody did over on Ultratext, and I will link it again. Maybe you should listen to people who actually did it versus people who did not. And that's the main thing. Now, again, if your source is the random guy who fought pro, fought amateur, and said it was legal, cool. If you mess with him, listen to him. But again, when that's 1 out of 100, maybe the other 99 are correct. Maybe he's just a little off. But I'm just saying, in my opinion, I knew it was an illegal punch when it happened, especially after they showed the replay. But I laugh at Frank Warren. Because Frank Warren looked like he was going to cry when Daniel Dubois lost to Joe Joyce, okay? He literally looked like he was going to cry. And now you have Frank Warren with Joe Joyce at the Zilly Zhang fight, and I find it hilarious that they stopped the fight the same way that the fight got stopped for Daniel, except Daniel was allowed to quit. The referee, the doctor, never stopped the fight for a broken orbital bone. They allowed him to quit, okay? So the fight would have went all 12 rounds had he not quit on his knee, okay? With Joe Joyce, he has no injury, just bruising on the eye, and they stopped the fight. And Frank Warren was cool with it. He was cool with it because he always wanted to build Daniel Dubois. That is his Anthony Joshua. That was his alleged golden goose. But the dude, I knew from the Joe Joyce fight he didn't have what it took. And I knew, and I said then, that he would quit again. Once he gets pushed to the limit, a quitter is always going to quit, and he's a quitter. And he quit again. And I don't really care. Like, I'm not these little scrawny dudes who's scared of these fighters in real life. And I'm going to just say it how it is. He quit. He's a quitter. Can he fight again? Yes, he can fight again. Can he win fights? Yes, he can win fights. But anytime he gets in there with an elite who's going to bring the fight to him, he is going to quit every time. In the Usyk fight, he fell down in the 8th round without even being hit. Usyk literally missed 2 shots and was rushing him. And through fear alone, he took a knee. He wasn't hurt. He wasn't wobbled. He went down from fear alone. And then in the 9th round, the round that I said he would quit in, he quit. He was on his knee from a jab. Not saying that a jab can't hurt you, because you could go to Vladimir Klitschko and realize that jabs can knock you the fuck out. They can knock you out. Like, jabs can be powerful, but Usyk's not a power puncher. He's not a one-punch knockout artist. That's not his MO. His MO is death by 1,000 pillows. That's his nickname. I gave it to him years ago. So when you get hit by the weakest punch, which is a jab, by a guy who's not known for power, and you take a knee, and when you get put on your knee, you're not wobbly. It wasn't like his equilibrium was off. It's not like when he was on his knee and his glove, he was wobbly. He didn't even attempt to get up. He just looked at the referee like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to continue. And then he's going to cry about they took it from you. Well, they didn't take it from you because it was an illegal punch. And the thing about it is this. If all you have is one punch and all you're relying on is one punch, when that one punch doesn't happen, you don't have a punch at all. You can't rely on just one punch. That is the dumbest thing of all. Just because you had a moment that you thought was yours to win, you don't give up because the fight continues. You fight on. You look at that success. Oh, I hurt him to the body? Well, I'm going to target the body. But here's the issue with Daniel Dubois. He tried to target the body after he knocked Usyk down. And what did Usyk start to do? Time his body work to where he was hitting him in the face. Daniel Dubois lacks heart. He lacks that killer instinct. And whenever he started getting popped in the face, that's what shut down his body work. Because he was too scared to get hit. And he didn't want to get hit. Because Dubois reminds me of a bully. He reminds me of a bully. He's very good when nobody steps up to him. But the minute somebody steps up to the bully, they fold like a lawn chair every single time. And that's what he has done both times he's had fighters step to him. Oh, I got things. True, like 2 Chainz. Unfortunately, okay. Prodigal. Anderson versus Iyafi Ajagba versus, my bad, I read that wrong. Anderson or Ajagba, the Nigerian warrior, versus Daniel Dubois. I think they both beat him. I think Daniel Dubois has more of a chance against Ajagba than he does Anderson, because Anderson will take the fight to him. That's the difference. Now, the thing is, though, I will say this. I will caveat off of that and say this with Anderson. I am not sold on his chin. I think he can get knocked out. And I think he could get knocked out very easily because I've seen him rocked by lesser than punchers. So if Daniel can catch him in the first 3 rounds, maybe he could beat him. But if it goes past 3 rounds, his ego is going to be so beat down, his confidence is going to be out the fucking window that he's going to just get destroyed. And he'll probably quit in that fight too. I say he has more of a chance against Ajagba because Ajagba is more methodical. He fights at a slower pace. He sets things up. So I think Ajagba would be easier for him as far as stylistically, but I think they both dust him off. No, not at all. No, Prodigal. I couldn't even put him in the same tier as Shannon Briggs. Shannon the Cannon Briggs, look, the last real American heavyweight, well, no, I guess you say Deontay Wilder. Before Deontay Wilder, it was Shannon Briggs. I'm sorry. Almost fucked up there. Because Trevor Bryant, we don't even count that dude. That dude was no real fucking champion. We don't count Reggie Belts. And when he fought Daniel Dubois, you saw how shitty he was. Don King somehow purchased that belt on eBay. Like, the thing about Shannon Briggs is this. Shannon Briggs had heart, and he had determination. He fought Klitschko with a torn bicep, one arm. He kept fighting through. If Daniel Dubois tore his bicep, oh, he would be out the ring immediately. He wouldn't even do nothing. Like, he would just walk out the ring. I truly believe that. He's not going to fight through a torn bicep. Because you got to understand, a torn bicep is going to hurt you a lot worse than a broken orbital bone. You're not even going to be able to really throw your hand. Your arm's just going to dangle. And if you do lift it, every time you lift it, the pain is going to be so bad that you're going to wish that it did not get lifted. So the fact that he couldn't make it through a broken orbital bone, and I'm not saying that's anything to laugh at because there's risk to that, but there's no way he's going to fight through a more painful injury, an actual injury that's going to hurt every time he moves. Because every time he steps, moves around that ring, the shock of the step is going to shoot through his body like it's just going to vibrate through his body and it's going to go right to that torn bicep. And he's going to feel it. And he ain't going to want to feel it because he ain't got the heart to take it. But how you been doing, Prodigal? I ain't seen you in a long time. And I don't even know how to say your name. Yak. How are you doing as well, my dude? I know I see you over there on Ultra's channel. Oh, and Prodigal, how did the job go? Did you get it? Got the Brooke face. I hope that doesn't mean you been sniffing powder, my dude. No, it was Shannon the Cannon Briggs. Then the Klitschko brothers took over. Well, no, it was Shannon the Cannon Briggs. Then Lennox Lewis took over, and then the Klitschko brothers took over, and then Tyson Fury stopped one, and then Bermain Stavern got Vitali's vacated WBC belt, and then Deontay Wilder got it from him. So yeah, that's the gap. Because you got to remember, Lennox Lewis was the last undisputed champion. He had all the belts, and then after the reign of Lennox Lewis, the Klitschko brothers held all the titles. Vitaly the WBC, Vladimir the other three, WBO, WBA, and IBF. So, yeah, it's been a while since we've and then you gotta think. As far as American champions go, we've only had singular belts. Our last, who would be our last great champion? Would it have been Evander Holyfield? Maybe. And he was a cruiserweight like Usyk, which is funny. Yeah. We haven't been doing so well in heavyweight boxing, but I've always said this: our heavyweight champions are on an NBA court. Our heavyweight champions are in the NFL. Our heavyweight champions are playing MLB. They're not boxing. Oh, I forgot about Charles Martin. But Charles Martin lost the belt, and Deontay Wilder kept the belt because that's who AJ got his first belt off of. Now, like a god, I can't believe I forgot about Charles Martin. I like Charles Martin. I always wanted him to do good, but he's just through. I don't know if he just doesn't train properly or he gets into bullshit outside the ring, but I had a lot of hopes for him. And he gave Anderson a really good run for his money with short notice. Like he hurt him. He hurt Jared Anderson on more than one occasion. Had he had a full training camp, he may have been able to beat him. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Then you had to fight. And the thing about Charles Martin is he has so many breaks in fighting to where he just goes away for over a year. That's what happened whenever he got in there with Old Nacky, who never had a baby face. I hate Old Nacky just because of his nickname alone. But yeah, he lost to him, but you could tell if it would have been a championship fight, he would have beat him because he started coming on as the ring rust came off. See, I'm good, bro. It's bank holiday over here, so the carnival is popping for those who like drama, Are you in the UK or in Canada, carnival? Or are you in Brazil? Those are three places that have that. I don't know what bank holiday is. Technically, Andy Ruiz Jr., but they built him as a Mexican. Well, Deontay Wilder had the belt past Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, is he the shortest lived reigning heavyweight champion in history? Yeah, I don't think Charles Martin is a bad fighter. Like I said, his losses came to Old Nacky, came to Luis Ortiz, Anthony Joshua before those two, and now most recently Anderson. So, I mean, even whenever you look at the two losses he had before he just took his fourth loss to Anderson, he came back on strong against Old Nacky. Like he was definitely beating him down the stretch, and had he had more rounds, he probably would have stopped him. So he was beating his ass towards the end of the fight. He just came on too late. Then you look at Luis Ortiz, and he was dominating Luis Ortiz, but he got caught. And then he was looking out the window like, hey, Mom, did you call me? Then he got hit back into reality, and he looked at the referee like, why is this dude hitting me? Where am I? So I rate him. I think he's a B-level fighter. I don't think he's an A or an elite, but I think he's a B+. I mean, even though he got a vacated title, you got to give him a little bit of credit for being the champion. You got to give him some credit for being the champion and going to fight Anthony Joshua, who was a young up-and-comer threat, and he took it to Anthony Joshua's backyard as the champion. So you got to give him some credit. Yeah. I think Ruiz may have the shortest reign in heavyweight history. And Ruiz, to me, that dude's just a waste. That dude's a fucking waste, like the grease in his belly. Like that dude's such a fucking waste. Like he could have fought Deontay Wilder. We could have been had Deontay Wilder versus Andy Ruiz Jr. right now. But this dude like priced himself out of a fight. He didn't really want to fight Wilder. Like that's why he looked like the little boy from the movie Up. With an old man where they float the house on balloons. He looks just like that little boy. Like Andy Ruiz is he's a waste. He's an idiot. Like he could have got in there with Deontay Wilder. Who cares if you don't get 50-50? Take 40-30. Beat him. Now you're the mandatory for Tyson Fury. Because that's what that fight was for. But now he's no longer a mandatory. He's not even in contention to get it. Deontay Wilder still has his ability to be mandatory, and they're probably going to make I see the future. This is what's going to happen. Usyk and Tyson Fury are going to fight the beginning of next year around January, February time. At the same time, Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua are going to fight. The winner out of that fight is going to be made mandatory for the WBC title, whether it's Usyk who has it or Tyson Fury who has it. And to be honest with you, I think we might get the fourth Deontay Wilder-Tyson Fury fight, even though nobody wants to see it, because I don't think AJ can beat Wilder at this point. If you had the Anthony Joshua prior to losing, meow, meow, what the fuck? Usyk shorts weren't pulled high, and this was 100% below the navel. I agree with you, meow, meow. I agree with you 100%. Ruiz underrated, lacking drive to be champion. I agree. Because like I was saying, and I got looking at the cat, the meow meow cat. Here's the deal. Ruiz could have been fighting Deontay Wilder, and then he would have been first in line for undisputed. That's what's so crazy. He literally could have been fighting AJ in the trilogy if AJ could come through. No, AJ. Well, I guess he would have fought AJ. Yeah. Because if he would have beat Deontay Wilder, then in Saudi, it would have been Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Anthony Joshua, the trilogy. And that sells because both guys beat both guys. That's a really good fight. So that sells just as good as Deontay Wilder, especially if Andy Ruiz Jr. would have beat him. But again, as I was saying, how I think it's going to go, and me not get sidetracked again, is I do not see this Anthony Joshua beating Deontay Wilder. Had it been the Anthony Joshua prior to losing to Andy Ruiz Jr., he would have beat Deontay Wilder. He would have had that belief in himself. He wouldn't have been scared. He wasn't been hesitant. He wouldn't second guess himself. He would be aggressive, and he wouldn't be scared to get hit. He would know what he needed to do to win. But this AJ is gun shy, and you can't be gun shy against Deontay Wilder because that just makes you a knockout waiting to happen. Deontay Wilder will throw everything at you. He will windmill you to death. He will tenderize you like a raw steak. Like I don't believe he can beat him. Unless he gets lucky and catches him early, I don't think he can beat him because the first time Anthony Joshua feels that power, he's going to fold. He's going to shell up and he's going to get beat down. I mean, you got to think about it like this. And I'm not saying triangle theory because people like to say that. I'm not saying because this guy beat that guy can beat this guy, or I'm not saying this. But Robert Helenius, he had a 3-month training camp to prepare for Deontay Wilder and got knocked out in the first round. Anthony Joshua got this dude on a 5-day notice and went 7 rounds with him and got busted up in the process. Had Helenius fought AJ prior to the Andy Ruiz loss, Helenius would have got blazed. He would have got blazed. I truly believe he would have blazed him. It would have went past 3-4 rounds. He would have blazed him. Yeah, so I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular right now. All right, Prodigal, I'm going to touch that. Let me see. Tony Tucker is the shortest reigning heavyweight champion. We'd have to look it up between Ruiz and Tucker because AJ and Ruiz had a pretty quick turnaround. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say. We're going to do this. Okay? Now, this is all alleged, and I'm not saying anybody is cheating, and I'm not calling Anthony Joshua a cheater, right? All I'm saying is shit is real weird, okay? You have Dillian White, who pops hot for a PED, which we don't know what it is, okay? Then we have Robert Helenius step in and pop hot. Now, Helenius was on record stating before this fight that there's no way people could cheat in the Netherlands where he's from because they test you all the time, and because of the pride of the people there, you would never be able to fight again if you got caught. Culturally, they don't believe in cheaters. That's what he was saying prior to this fight. Now, here's the thing. I would be very curious to know what Dillian White got popped for. Because if him and Helenius got caught on the same substance, I'm going to say there's something very weird with that. How do two fighters who don't fuck with each other get caught on the same PED? The likelihoods of that would be very low. What am I alluding to? I don't know. You figure it out. Because I'm not going to put myself as liable, but I'm going to say this. If two fighters got popped for the same PED, I wonder who really was the one juicing in that fight, and if not, some funny business was going on in the background. It's all alleged. It's just me thinking hypothetically. I'm just saying I find it very sus that two fighters got popped for PEDs, and if they turn out to be the same substance, oh, 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 I would bring all the lawyers in, and I would find out the full control of my urine and AJ's urine. I would want to see the whole custody chain. And I'm not saying anybody switched anything. I'm just saying it'd be very sus to me. And I don't believe in coincidences. But it's all allegedly. It's all allegedly. Because maybe Dillian White and Helenius are both cheaters. I don't know. All right, let's see. Unfortunately, I agree with you, Tony. I don't believe Joshua believes in himself enough to destroy anymore. Nah, like, I'm going to explain how the Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder fight's going to go, okay? This is what's going to happen. And I said this on another channel, all right? AJ, he's going to walk into the ring and he's going to be sweating. He's going to be sweating so much it looked like he just got out of the swimming pool or he was walking in the rain. And he's going to be standing across the ring looking at Deontay Wilder come down in one of them outfits that he wears. His eyes are going to be glowing red. You're going to see the diamonds sparkling. You're going to hear the music. And he's just going to see this one-punch knockout artist coming towards him. Then AJ is going to be looking at the canvas like, I can't watch this guy walk to the ring. It's very intimidating looking. And then the referee is going to bring the two together where they're going to touch gloves. They're going to lock eyes for the first time since they've been in the ring. And when AJ looks at Wilder, Wilder looks at him, he's going to go, Bomb Squad! And AJ is going to fall over having a panic attack, and that's going to be the end of the fight. He's literally going to be the first boxer in history to have a panic attack in the ring. That's how I see it going. Deontay Wilder, the winner, by AJ having a panic attack. All right, let's keep going. I be who I be. Got to keep the PEDs in mind, though, Tony. Well, like I said, I'm not saying he did cheat. I'm not saying he didn't cheat. I'm just saying I want to know what him and Dillian White got popped for. Is it the same substance or not? That's all. And if he did cheat for Anthony Joshua, who's to say that he didn't cheat for Deontay Wilder and just didn't get caught? So you got to keep that in mind, too, because once a cheater, always a cheater. Isn't that what they say? Boxiana in the building. What's going on? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. I think the chances of Fury and Usyk are 60-40. It's not a mismatch. Like, nah, it's a mismatch. Meow, meow. I do not believe Usyk stands a chance at all. You got to understand, Daniel Dubois technically is a horrible fighter. Horrible fighter. And he was tagging Usyk left and right. Tagging him left and right. Timing him. Especially whenever it came to was it the third and fourth or the fourth and the fifth? I don't remember because it was 2 rounds that I gave to Usyk. I think it was the third and fourth where he was timing him really, really well. And now Usyk's already showed the biggest chink in his armor. Go to the body. Tyson Fury's very good at going to the body. And then you got to figure he's got the longest reach in boxing and he's the tallest heavyweight. Oh, come on. He is going to destroy Usyk's midsection. He going to beat up them guts. Like Usyk, some girl from the club. He going to beat them guts up. Let me see. Overeem pops hot sauce allegedly all the time, but he's MMA and he's Dutch. You got a point there. I don't really keep up with MMA. I did see Overeem the other day, and that dude looked like he weighed 110 pounds. So you could definitely tell what he was doing in his prime because that dude was fucking drained. Like he was sunken in. He looked like a prune. He looked like a shell of himself, like a cancer patient. It looked bad. Tony, what are your thoughts on Emmanuel Augustus? Yo, so Emmanuel Augustus, they call him the drunken master or the drunken boxer, and I disagree. He never looked like he was drunk to me. His style, to me, he looked like a puppet. You know when somebody holds the strings above them puppets and they move? That's how he moved, just like a puppet on strings. His style was very nice. The way that he disrupted the flow, you couldn't really time him. You didn't know what he was going to do. He got cheated out of several wins because they didn't like his style. Realistically, Emmanuel Augustus should only have probably 3 losses on his record, but he's got a lot more than that. But the dude was fucking phenomenal. His style, You can't copy it. Unique, one of a kind. And I liked him a lot. And yeah, Floyd said that was his toughest fight he ever had, was against him. And that was a really good fight, too. If you go back and watch Pretty Boy and Augustus, that was real good. What's going on, regulator? Let me see. The consensus by Wilder haters is that he is mentally finished after the Fury. There's no way Deontay Wilder is mentally finished. There's no fucking way. This dude believes in himself. This dude believes in himself so much he might be able to walk on water. That's how much belief this dude has in himself. I've never seen somebody so confident in themselves. And the difference in Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder is you could see that Deontay Wilder did not change after the loss. He did not change. When he got in there with Helenius, he looked no different than he did before he fought Fury. But every fight we've seen with AJ, after he lost to Ruiz, he looks more and more gun-shy, especially now that he's got the 2 losses losing. Look at the Jermaine Franklin fight. This dude literally clinched 90% of the fight. He had Derek James yelling at him, let your hands go. Let him go. And then Helenius busted him up because he was so docile. Like, I don't know, man. He looked like a declawed kitten to me. I don't know. I don't see it anymore. The thing people don't understand is that Wilder always knew what he is and isn't. But here's the thing about it, Mark Anthony. I think Deontay Wilder's gotten a lot better underneath Malik Scott. Like, we've seen him. Like, how he finished Helenius was because he did something to Helenius that Helenius never see. He did a pull hook counter. Helenius came in while Wilder was backing up. He pulled his shoulder back and caught him with the hook as Helenius was coming across to throw the punch, the straight down the line. That's something we've never seen from Deontay Wilder. So I truly believe that Malik Scott is putting wrinkles in him, and it's crazy for him to be as old as he is. He's damn near 38 years old. He turns 38 in October. For him to be so old and still getting new wrinkles makes him dangerous. And until Father Time catches up with Deontay Wilder, he'll still be able to perform because he never. So here's the thing about a fighter like Usyk, right? Usyk is already capped. He's become technically as good as he can be, and he can only go downhill as he gets older, as his natural attributes, as his speed slows down and goes out due to age. He can only get worse. The difference with Deontay Wilder, believe it or not, is because he's been so technically bad his entire career, he could actually improve more with age because he has a lot more ceiling of improvement that he can still maximize versus other fighters who are more well-rounded. So it actually gives him more longevity, in my opinion. I don't know. Y'all can disagree, but that's just how I look at it. All right, let's see here. Who's the A side in that fight? You would have to say Anthony Joshua is the A side versus damn near anybody he fights outside of maybe Tyson Fury. Because my thing is this. A and B side does not matter what you have done, how many belts you have. In my opinion, all that matters is who does the best business, who puts the most asses in seats, who can get the most pay-per-view buys. Now, without a doubt, that's Anthony Joshua. But you could also argue on the flip side that Anthony Joshua could not make the type of money that he's going to make without Deontay Wilder. So it very well could be a 50-50 fight because you could argue that all day. Because the amount of people, there are going to be more people who watch Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder than watch Tyson Fury versus Usyk for Undisputed. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. Because people like fireworks and people like knockouts. And, you know, they're going to get a spectacular knockout because one of them is going to sleep. It's not going to go the distance. One of them is going to sleep. You know that. We know that. That's how it's going to go. It's not going to be a chess match, I don't think. All right, let's go. Boom. Everybody saying, what up there, everybody? There goes this dude. When Tony and I agree on something, you can take that to the bank. Wilder sleeps, that Usyk and Fury dog walks him. Yeah, there's no way Usyk beats Tyson Fury. Let me see. Horrible and apparently on the spectrum. Took him forever to realize what happened in the fifth. Yep. Overeem is definitely skinny as hell now. Let's keep going. Joshua needs more confidence building fights. Maybe Zhang or... See, Hrgovic is a fight that Joshua could win because Hrgovic looks like ass. He hasn't looked good in his past 4 fights now. You have people arguing that he beat he lost to Zhilei Zhang. I disagree. I thought he edged out Zhilei Zhang. But you have a lot of people who disagree with me saying that Hrgovic lost to Zhilei Zhang. Against Amir, he looked horrible. He looked horrible in his last fight. Like, the dude just has not looked good since the code word. Ever since then, he's looked like trash. We're about to have to close this out. If anybody wants to hop on, here's your time. I'm going to I'm going to post this link. I guess technically it is paste, copy and paste. So I said it right inadvertently. But I'm going to post this link. I'm going to let it drop. I got to go in just a couple of minutes. But if anybody wants to hop on before I go in the next couple of minutes, you're more than welcome to. If not, we're going to close it out. AJ versus Wilder. Do big numbers for sure. But where do you think the fight should happen, Tony? I say the UK. It'll happen in Saudi. It'll happen with Skills Challenge because they're the ones that's going to put up the money. Nobody's going to pay them what they want to get paid, how they want to get paid, unless they go to Saudi Arabia. That's the only fucking way. That's the only way. They go to the UK, it'll do good, but it won't do like, you got to understand. Saudi Arabia is such a rich country that they could overpay for everything. Like, look at what they've done to golf and soccer. Like, that's all you got to look at to see how deep their pockets are. I'll touch on this. This will be the last thing I touch on. My opinion has not changed. If Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua would have met before Joshua lost to Ruiz, Joshua would have beat Wilder. I truly believe that. But this Anthony Joshua, who's had 3 losses now, he's not the same. He's mentally broken. He doesn't have the mindset for the sport anymore. Yes, he makes a good payday. Keep making your money as long as you can, but he's not mentally equipped to fight Deontay Wilder anymore. So we don't really agree. We still disagree because had Andrew Ruiz never beat AJ, I would say AJ beats Wilder. But because Wilder has no confidence, I have to, by default, go to Wilder. AJ just lost all his confidence. I might have said Wilder. I might have said that wrong. Since AJ lost his confidence, I have to go with Wilder. You said it would be nice for AJ to get stretched at Wembley. Look, I don't want to see no fighter get stretched, but we know one of them is going to get stretched. We know one of them is going to get stretched. But we'll have to see. I don't think Derek James can fix Anthony Joshua. I think Derek James needs to dedicate his time and dedication to who he started with, Earl Spence Jr., for the Bud rematch. I think Derek James has become too spread out with too many fighters, and he's not dedicating enough time with the fighters that he needs to give his time and energy to. Like, you got to look at the Bud fight and the AJ fight. They happen damn near back-to-back. So that tells you Derek James wasn't putting enough time into either fighter. He's too spread out. So I think while AJ is with Derek James, EJ needs to either move on or demand 100% of Derek James' time, which he's not going to get because you got Jamel going in there against Canelo, so he's going to be there for that. So I don't know. I think Derek James has just got too much on his plate, too many fighters, too many premier fighters, too many top-level fighters, and it's starting to show. The one thing I do not want to see, and I'll say this before I go, I don't want to see Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez at 168. Terrence would just be selling his own. That's all it is. I don't care how good Terrence is. He's not beating fucking Canelo at 168 pounds. He's not going to do it. I don't care how fucking skilled he is. I don't care how good he's looked against Earl Spence Jr. There's no fucking way he beats Canelo. There's no way. Canelo is going to beat him down. But I don't know. We shall see. I don't think he stands a chance. All I know is if he does fight Canelo, he better not miss one snack meal. He better go to Conte and eat all the snack he can to get ready for that fight because he's going to need it. But on that note, I'm out. Y'all have a good day. Thank y'all for joining the chat. and chopping it up with me. I'll catch y'all next time.